Hey YouTube, Awesome Rider here. Welcome to my review for Kamen Rider Gavv episode 17. We are back after a week off, and we have our big debut of our third rider, Kamen Rider Vlam. Very much a part 1 of 2 as the episode kind of leads us into his intro. Thankfully, it's not like a teaser where he transforms and then it ends. We get to see him in action a little bit, and a really good action sequence. That's something I've definitely praised a lot. It's kind of similar to Boom Boondra. They've really stepped up the action sequences in this series so far. A lot of them are really memorable, really cool moments of him like sliding on his knees, and just all the choreography of the fight with him and Gavv was really fun to watch, and it made for a memorable and cool debut for his character. But the drive of this episode is they're initially doing this investigation of missing people as they overhear people talking about missing people, and they start investigating it. And it's both, I think, tied to like the monster of the week, the bird guy, but also the mass disappearances that Vlam's doing, whose name is Lagavulin 16, whatever. But anyway, like I think the initial disappearance is about the bird guy, but then they start learning about the mass disappearances because we see another one as Vlam kidnaps like a room of like a teaching class or something like that. I guess that's the only kind of class there is, it's a teaching class, but you know what I mean. So they start learning about all this, and it leads them to the episode's conclusion with this investigation. And the thing that's really funny about it to me is at one point, like in the middle of the episode or not, I don't know timing wise, but they realize that like one of the like traits of the people being kidnapped is that they're nice. And I think that's really funny because, like, yeah, the monster is taking advantage of nice people or whatever, but just the way the scene goes down is hilarious to me because it reminded me of like a procedural where they realize something about the victims, like, oh, they all had blonde hair, or their names were all Julie or something like that. Like, there's an episode of Monk where people are targeting Julie Tigers, and like, so they're like, oh no, that's my daughter's name, so we gotta save her. And it was just funny to me that like the trait was that like people are nice. I mean, sure, most people are awful, to be honest, but that's such a widespread trait that it's funny to me that like the reason that they realize that nice people are being targeted is just 3 separate flashbacks of people either being interviewed or overhearing people just saying that the person was nice. Like, what are they gonna say? Like, oh, did you hear, you know, Hank's son disappeared? Yeah, he's a piece of crap though, so it doesn't matter. I just thought that was funny that that was the evidence. It just so happened to be that people that were talking about the missing people said they were nice. And then they jump to the conclusion of like, well, Sachika's nice, so she's a target. I don't know, I just found that to be so funny for some reason. And it turns out, you know, she was about to be targeted by the monster who was disguised as this scarf girl. But then after she gets chased off by Hanto and Shoma, she runs into Lage, who just recently got the driver as he's approached about wanting to test out the driver. Because the plots are kind of tied together, which is cool because you have Lage doing his thing, but the guy wanting to try out the driver is like, oh good, we have a monster of the week out there, it's going to draw the attention of Gavv, now's the time to get my driver out there to fight them. But he runs into her and she doesn't know that he's on his side, and we get a little bit more of a feel for his personality, which is kind of nice. I really enjoy his character so far. He's like a little bit cool, but kind of a little bit laid back and funny. It's just an enjoyable performance so far. But anyway, everything kind of comes to a head in that final confrontation where initially she doesn't know that he's also a granite, and then Gavv and Shoma start fighting him, the monster of the week that is, and then when they go in for the finisher, he gets in the way and they manage to get it out of the way, the attack out of the way because it's a human, or so they think. And that's when he does his debut. And this guy is doing the most. He had like a triple reveal. He's like, you thought I was just a guy wearing a dark fisherman's hat acting like future Xeranos brooding? Actually, I dress like a fashion model. I don't know what fashion models dress like, but he's just like so much more stylish and stand out underneath what he's been wearing. And it's certainly more stylish than whatever Gavv's wearing. Gavv's outfit, I think, is like similar to what he normally wears, but it just felt like he was wearing Fashion by X8 this week. So he has that reveal. He's like, boom, check this out under here. And then he's like, boom, you looking for this? Age of Ultron joke. But then he's like, boom, I'm going to transform from the granite because he reveals he's a granite. And then he's like, boom, I'm actually a pudding DJ. It was really cool. I don't know. It was just really funny because it was like a quadruple reveal. You have like what he looks like underneath the clothes. That sounds like naked, but you know what I mean. And then you have like, he's a granite, and then he transforms into a rider. And again, I do like that he transformed to a rider from the granite form, both because I thought it was cool. Like, I don't think we've ever seen something like that before for the debut of a main rider. Like, I know villains have picked up drivers before. I mean, just look at the poor Fi's driver. That thing got passed around. But I can't remember a time, I mean, I'm sure there has been, but like off the top of my head, I can't remember a time, even just remembering a monster transforming, but certainly not for a main rider. I'm sure I'm gonna get some actuallys, but it was still pretty cool. And like I said at the top of that review, it was a really good debut for his character in regards to just looking really cool. I really do like the suit. The driver is really funny because like without the subtitles, it's got, I don't want to say a deeper voice than the main driver. Maybe just a little cooler sounding, I guess. But without the subtitles, I can't understand what it's saying. It sounds like it's muffled. It's like, just like, what? Good debut for his character. I thought it was a very like strong, solid first parter. I think my favorite part of it, other than being amused by their detective work, like about, oh, it's nice people that are being targeted, was just the Vlam character so far, Vlog A9 or whatever his name is. I'm enjoying his personality. Like, The thought is that he's like a double agent, and so why he's doing this, which was kind of made obvious. I'm curious how that's going to come about with what he's doing, like kidnapping these mass groups of people, because obviously they're in the point, I think, where they can still be saved, but it's still pretty extreme. Like, usually when you have a character like that, where they're clearly going to be redeemed or a double agent, they're usually not doing anything that's like too crazy, but like that's pretty crazy for like a character that's going to be, you know, a double agent, but it's certainly a way to gain trust. Another thing I wanted to talk about really quick was just there was a little bit further momentum on the storyline of like Shoma's got a secret, where Honto's like, Shoma's acting weird, and Shoma's like, he notices I'm acting weird, and then he talks about his big secret out in public where anywhere can hear him, like it's a soap opera where they're like, Jeffrey can never know that it's Hank's baby. I'm like, stop saying that out loud, someone's going to hear you. There was obviously that moment, but I think in particular when the Granite transforms into a rider, and he's like, are you here to help us? Which is just funny, because like instantly when he turns into a rider, he's like, oh, a friend. But anyway, I think that was interesting where Shoma immediately was like, maybe he's here to help us. And then Honto's like, no way, he's a Granite, I'm a Gracist, there's no way, he's evil. So I thought that was an interesting moment, just because I'm curious how long we're going to drag this storyline out. It seems like with how often we talk about it each episode, it's going to be soon. Like, I feel like if it was waiting to be like later in the series final arc reveal, we wouldn't bring it up as much as we are bringing it up. So I think it's going to happen soonish. But I'm curious if in any way Vlam will be tied to that, because we know he's eventually probably going to be a good guy. So I'm curious if like maybe Shoma's going to be the one to give him the benefit of the doubt, and you know Honto's obviously going to push back, and then that could be why that reveal would come out, was maybe Shoma would be like, there can be good Granite because I'm one. So I don't know, that's interesting. Let me know what you thought of the episode and Vlam's debut in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Rider signing out.